Hello everyone and welcome to my Sprocketmonger Lockenstock raid guide for Heroic. This boss fight is a two-phase fight. You can probably just hear everyone pull, and basically the whole thing about it is knowing where to move and dodging the abilities together with blowing up mines in a timely manner. Essentially it's a scripted fight and you'll have certain places that you need to be at a certain time, and I'll show you where you should be going and just go through the mechanics as well. Okay. So I'll cover the mines in depth and go through that, but first off, let's just look at the mechanics. So you have a blazing beam, a rocket barrage, and magnets that come out essentially. The blazing beam is just a dodge and making sure you're not in an awkward position, and then the rockets just fly across the room, again just a dodge, and then the magnets sort of pull you towards you, and you need to be sort of in a certain position for when the magnets come in, that you're not getting pulled into really horrible situations. So right now we can see the fire sort of barrages that are coming out. That's one of the big abilities that you need to dodge. Pretty simple to dodge. And next we'll see the rockets that come out when you move like down to the first section of movement. You can see that these come out, and there they are. Basically they knock you back if they hit you. They don't kill you, they leave a little dot on you. Just make sure that you're, you know, looking around and dodging these. And then finally you have the magnets that come in, that will essentially just pull you in, and depending on where you are in the platform, you can see them there just pointed out. Essentially where you are in the platform, you know, if you're getting pulled in, it can cause you some issues, so just make sure you're in good position when these come out. Also worth stating that two of these abilities get empowered after the phase 2, but I'll show you that later when we go through it. Okay, so the next ability is called Screw Up. So be ready for a cluttered screen. You see these guys that are highlighted. You get a little arrow over your head and you get circles underneath you, and then screws spawn from underneath you. If you run into them, it's not the end of the world. You get a bleed on you and you get stunned for a little bit, but you know, range can try and help as much as they can by staying out with these abilities. Being in the melee bunch while these go off isn't great, and I assume that will happen with melee anyway, but yeah, staying out is good. Okay, so the foot blasters, which are essentially mines, what's going to happen is 4 are going to spawn, and you're going to need to blow them up one at a time. Okay, and there's a delay on when you can do that, so you can see all 4 of them that are spawning here. And essentially what you want to do is probably on the first rotation have one tank do it, and then on the second one have your tank do it again, and then just ATPS for the third bomb. You can leave the 4th bomb and just let it go off naturally. I don't think you can do that in Mythic, but on Heroic you can do that. So the idea is that after the first set of getting your tanks and 1 DPS to do it, you're going to have DPS do it every single time. Okay, so until you rotate round enough and the debuff goes off. So when you explode a bomb, the debuff stays on you for a certain amount of time, and then once it's gone you can then explode another bomb. Obviously if a bomb is going to go off and you can't stop it, then someone can do that and die, and it's probably better than a wipe if 2 go off at the same time. So what makes this mechanic so annoying is the fact that he's going to do something called wire transfer, and you'll see on my screen now what happens is he will make one part of the room unplayable. He'll cover it in lightning and you need to move down to the other part of the room. So here at the moment he's just covered the top 2 and we just play the bottom 2, but there is a set rotation on this as to where he goes and how you need to play it. There will always be sort of the majority of your group in one section that you can just do 2 mines on, and then you're going to have one range player just go and do one of the bombs that are further away. I'll show an image now as to how it looks and how you can deal with this. Okay, so with this then there's 5 positions that the boss will do, and he'll rotate around them, and essentially what will happen is he will do 4 positions, and then he'll do the intermission, the phase 2, and then he'll start from position 5 and move onwards. Okay, so you need to be aware that it's not going to be an even number every time. You just reset at the start. You will need to sort of move around. So this is the first position. You can see we were tanking around here when we were doing it, and had the boss around here. And essentially we had 1 tank do this, 1 tank do this, 1 range do this, and then that's it. You leave this one to go off. The second position, you just move down. Nice and easy. All right, so you just have 1 melee do this, 1 melee do this, 1 range do this, and leave this one to go off. Or if this one's more at risk of being popped accidentally, do this one and leave this one out. Again, easiest 2 positions. Move on to position 3, where it then splits the room. You'll be over here at this point in time because you'll have just moved from probably here or around the middle, so you'll move up to here. So you'll do these 2 as the melee ones, and you'll get 1 range player to go over here and do this one, probably last, and then you can just leave that one to just be done whenever. Again, you don't need to do it. That's a mythic thing that if you don't do it, it causes issues. So for heroic, you just do 3. So it's always just 2 melee and a ranged, or a healer, whatever it is, and a ranged. Okay. Number 4, you're moving over here. So it's quite important between these two that there's a bunch of mechanics that come out. There's some magnets that come out here, and some other stuff. So when the magnets come out, you want to be starting to move over to this side, so you're in a good position and you're not, you know, screwed over by it. Again, you then just do this one and this one and get a ranged who says I'll do it to do that one. At this point, you're chucked down all the way down here, okay, for the phase 2, which I'll show you after this, and you've got to all run up to the top where the boss will be stood around here. Okay, so the boss will be stood around here doing stuff. All right, so yeah, down you go, up you go. When phase 2 ends, you'll be stood here and you go into position 5. So there you go. You run over to this side, over here. You do this one, you do this one. You get a range to do this one. And then you go back to position 1. And it rinses and repeats. But obviously, you've now done 1. So the next time you rotate around it, you'll do 2. You'll do 3 down here. You'll do 4 up here and have this. And then you'll get chucked down to the bottom. You'll be running up, the boss will be on this side this time. You'll be running up to the boss, and then when you start, this will be what happens. So you need to run over here. So that's the general gist of the positioning. Hopefully that made sense. And yeah, just look through this. I'll link it onto the video and you can see where your positioning should be. Okay, so phase 2, you're all chucked to the back of the wall. You have to run against these elevators, which make you slow, and there's a load of void stuff that comes out. You'll get disorientated if you get hit by them, and for healers, it puts a healing absorb on everyone that you need to heal off, essentially. Be careful you don't run into Narnia and not get any heals. And obviously this isn't going to be the most favourable for melee either, but essentially it's just to survive, probably not do that much damage in this phase anyway, and rinse and reset into the next phase. So just cleaning up the tank mechanics and the empowered mechanics. So the tank mechanic, you'll just get slowed while you're tanking. And then you get this party pack book on you that you need to get as far away as you can because it's drop off damage. Obviously, you can see that when you're coming back, you need to think about where you're standing so you don't get killed by any of the mechanics. What we can see that was happening there was just the fire blasters that was on the previous stage, but this is now empowered to void. And then after you go through the intermission or phase 2 twice, instead of it being the rockets, it'll basically be these void balls that spawn that you'll see in a second that you just need to dodge again. So the first time you go through the phase 2, it'll be the void beams. The second time you go through phase 2, it'll be these void orbs. Okay. As always, a big thank you for watching. The next one will be with you soon. And if you could leave a like and subscribe, I'd be very, very grateful. Thank you to all those that helped me as normal. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.